Okay, we're live here, and let me see if we get any people in the chat. So we're just going to wait a little while, but we're going to start out by talking about. We're going to talk about the Graham Glasgow thing first of all. So, Tim, what do you think about the Lions letting Graham Glasgow walk?
I think it's a typical idiotic move that we see too often from the Detroit Lions.
In some ways, I agree. Graham Glasgow is not he's not great, but he was available. I mean, he started 15 games. I mean, he doesn't miss many games. He's a versatile center. He's not great at. I mean, he's not great, but he's good, and I think he was serviceable. And I know that sounds like, oh, that's not really something that we want to have here in Detroit. Is just serviceable, but when you have so many needs.
Right.
I just can't see why they keep letting talent walk. And I've been over and over and over at this, but there's people that think we don't have that many holes. Do you think that, Tim?
I think they're crazy.
I think they're crazy.
Yeah, because the defense or the offensive line, and of course the defense, has had a lot of holes throughout the years, and they've been exploited over and over and over again. One thing, this Lions, I don't care who it's been, have not been able to plug these holes. I mean,
it just seems like we keep filling holes. Hey, what's up, Dolo Dynamite? We see you there. Hey, guy. What's up? No, I mean, I feel the same way. So we've let Glasgow walk. Mm-hmm. I don't think the left guard position is solidified, or the right guard position for that matter.
Right.
We don't have a defensive line right now. And a lot of times we feel like, oh, we're just going to go ahead and we're just going to get all these guys in free agency, and it's going to fill all those holes, and we're going to upgrade our football team. And and last year we got a lot of people, but did we upgrade that significantly?
Nope.
We replaced Ezekiel Ansah, who had no availability whatsoever.
Right.
With Trey Flowers, who's actually better because he's there. You know what I'm saying? He was hurt this year. He had a shoulder injury coming in. We kind of knew that. Took him a while to get going, but I thought he did a decent enough job. We still have Deshaun Hand when he comes back from injury. And we also have Austin Bryant, which a lot of people might have forgotten about. He's out of Clemson. And I thought, we still got all these holes to me. Okay, if we're trading Slay, what are we getting for him?
Right. Yeah.
So that's my take is we keep getting rid of talent, but yet we don't replace them.
Yep.
That's kind of what I feel about this whole team. So letting Graham Glasgow walk opens up another hole that we have to fill. Now, they didn't want to pay him $10 million, which I think was in the neighborhood of what he wanted. 9-10 is what I was hearing. So I get that point. I get the point that you don't want to pay him $10 million. You might be able to upgrade for that kind of money, or you might be able to get somebody in the draft, or you might be able to get somebody who's a lower free agent to take that spot.
Yeah, but one thing we do know is that the Lions need to pay people to come here above their value, above what they'll get. What a team like Dallas or New England can pay, because we're not a good team. We're not one of the great teams, so we got to overpay average players in order to get them here. So I don't see how this is going to work.
I don't know how it's going to work, man. And that leads me to my question right now. Oh, okay. I didn't hear that. He said Dolo Dynamite, he says, I heard there was a rift between him and Ragnow. I had not heard that.
Oh, wow.
That's possible. Or it's possible they didn't want to pay him $10 million to be that guy. I just think here's the first question I have for the people out there. And the first question I have for you as well, Tim. Do you trust Patricia and Quinn to get it right in free agency and then later the draft?
About a 40-50 chance. 40 they won't get it right, or 40 they will get it right. 60 they won't.
You have it pretty high.
Yeah.
Because I don't think it's even that high, to be honest with you. I don't think it's that high. Bob Quinn's had 5 years to build this team. Let's not get it twisted. And everybody's like, oh, you know what? He's doing such a great job. But he's not. No, he's not. This team is worse than when he took it over. I don't know if it's worse talent-wise, but it's worse record-wise for sure.
Mm-hmm. That's for sure.
I don't think we have the defense that we need. I think the offensive line is shaky at best. I said that last year and the year before. And it doesn't seem like a position that they care about. They went and they got left tackle, right? Decker, he's okay. I'm not going to say he's great, but he's okay. I think in the left guard position's open. I think center position they took care of with Ragnow. I don't think Wagner's very good. And, we're going to leave this to Joe Dahl and whoever else that we got. Maybe Terrell Crosby. I mean, who knows? But I don't think – I know in Detroit we feel like we need to have the best players at all the positions. And maybe that's kind of a whimsical thing. There's no way we're going to get all of that.
No.
But at least get consistent in one area. So like you solidify the center position. At least that's what I think. Let's move on to another position and solidify it rather than just getting rid of somebody, right?
Right. Yeah.
And then having to fill that hole again.
And and you need one part of the team that is good enough to elevate the other teams, the other part of it, basically, is what you're saying.
Yeah, definitely.
That will take up
fixed. Yeah. And then let's continue to build instead of let's fix the same positions every year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually
holes into another position group that was already solid.
Yep. Actually, and they've been not even good at putting Band-Aids on things.
That's true.
Because what I have seen over the years, and especially when Patricia came here, we have seen them get players that were maybe great in the past, but average at best now. And what I'm is saying, and especially like the running backs, I'm as far as in free agent, 2 years ago, Garrett LeBlanc. I mean, look at that. He was a bust. He was great in the past, but when they brought him over to Detroit, it didn't work. A lot was because age, and a lot was because of our, once again, not so great offensive line.
Yeah, you can say that about a lot of people that we've had here. You really could. I also think. I want to go into this because there's a trade scenario for Darius Slay that came out, and they're talking about getting. See, I don't even like the trade, but
okay.
So the trade would be for Malcolm Jenkins and a draft pick from the Philadelphia Eagles. Jenkins is 32 years old.
Right.
He'd be like a stopgap type of a player if we went ahead and tried to draft another player or something like that. Hate this trade unless it's a good draft pick.
Right.
But it's the same thing. We're getting rid of talent to get somebody that's less. And I see that a lot in this thing. What do you think about that trade, anybody? Darius Slay to the Eagles for I don't even like this. Malcolm Jenkins and a draft pick. That just came out. And I don't like it at all. I'll be honest, I don't like it at all. I don't like getting rid of talent. I just don't.
But and like you said, it depends on the draft pick. What round? Who could we get?
Exactly.
Yeah.
What round? Who do we get for them? But I still don't like trading away talent. I just don't like doing it. Okay, so if I'm building for the future and this is a complete rebuild, I can see some of these moves. Okay, right. I totally understand that. But if you're going to sit here and say it's a win now and you're getting rid of people, you've got a lot of holes on this team. I think people underestimate the holes that are on this team right now.
Right.
Because I see holes at offensive line. I see huge holes at defensive line.
Oh, yeah.
Linebackers can't cover anybody. So that's tough. We have Justin Coleman in the slot. He's good. I don't think outside of a Warrior, I don't see anybody really challenging for a second corner position. You know, our safety with Harris, I don't think that's solid. Of course, there's Devin McCourty. They've been talking about the Lions camping out at his house or something or whatever to get Devin McCourty should they let him go.
Right.
But overall, there's just a lot to fill, and we have a lot of cap space. We have a pretty good we have good draft spots, but do we trust them to get it right? That's the whole thing.
Right.
Is this going to be a one-year wonder, and then all the players that we have that fit this scheme are going to be gone anyway? And then it is a total rebuild once again. And I don't want to get to that point. Just don't.
We've been rebuilding for how many years now? 50 some?
58, 57. Yeah. It says 57 on my shirt, but I'm sure I got that a few years ago.
Yeah. So, so it's probably about 60 now, but not. I don't think it's quite 60, but.
No, I don't know. I don't know. So there's just a bunch of things that the Lions need to do, and they have money, but are they going to put it? Who are they going to put it into?
Right.
I think we overpaid for Amendola. I like Amendola. Don't get me wrong. I mean, think he's a pretty good. He's like a safety blanket for Stafford. Yeah, he's a good third down option, but. $6 million, a little bit. That's a lot. It's a lot for me. I don't know. I think it's a little bit too much. That's just my own personal opinion. So who's out there in free agency? Who would you like to see us go get, and what spots would you like to see us fill? Of course, we have the defensive tackle position. We have a run stuffing position, and there's a couple of names out there for those positions. I think we have a cornerback need. Say Byron Jones maybe there or something. There's all kinds of needs on this team, though.
There is. I mean,
pass rush is a need.
And and last year it looked like they were, really building on that defensive line. But how did that work, Jim?
It didn't.
It didn't. I mean, they basically showed Damon Harrison that they knew how not to get him help.
I know.
Right. So
let's go over some possible hole fillers for the Lions through free agency. Who would I like to see? I like DJ Reader. He's a defensive tackle out of Houston. He's 26. I think he is. I'm not sure when he's going to be 27, but he's a big dude, and he's a good run stuffing nose tackle, which we lost when Snacks left. You watch Snacks go to another team and have a Pro Bowl season. Watch.
Yeah.
You watch. He just didn't want to be here. Yeah. That's what I think anyway.
What if he went back with the Giants? That would really.
I don't know. They changed their system. I think that's why they got rid of him in the first place. But there's so much flux in New York. That might be just as bad of a situation as we have here. But okay, so that's one of them. Of course, Anthony Tooney's been talked about a lot to fill Graham Glasgow's spot, and Byron Jones, cornerback from Dallas. He's a really good one-on-one corner, right? He kind of excels in that, but he doesn't get a lot of picks. And he's only 27 years old, though, so that's not terrible. It's pretty good. I hear Corey Littleton a lot, 3-down linebacker. I like that. I like him. I mean, we have a huge problem with covering over the middle, whether it be tight ends, running backs. We get killed on third down in those type of plays. We really do. We have a really hard time getting off the field. At least we did last year. Of course, we had so many injuries. It was crazy, too. We're talking about Kenyon Drake, running back out of Arizona. Now, we tried to get him last year from Miami. At least I had heard that. Or at least I wanted that. maybe they weren't close enough. I think running back is a problem. And a lot of people don't think that, we got Kerryon Johnson, Bo Scarborough, Ty Johnson. Why do we need a running back? Bo Scarborough has injury history. Kerryon Johnson is proven to be injury prone. I think he's had an injury every year.
Yes, he has.
I mean, this goes back to college. This isn't just with Detroit. And Ty Johnson, I like him, but I didn't see enough from him. As in, I didn't see enough huge good plays out of him. There was a lot of run right into the offensive line, fall down type of thing. Scarborough did really well, but of course he has an injury history too with Dallas. So I'm just not certain on him either. What do you think about the running back situation?
Yeah, we need to add. There's definitely been issues with Kerryon being injured every year.
Oh, I like Hargrove too.
But
Go ahead.
yeah, I would like to see him pick up a good fast running back. Maybe Taylor, in the draft.
Man, Dolo's my guy right here. You saying carry on his glass? We need a running back like Taylor Dobbins. And who's been on the bandwagon for Jonathan Taylor? That's
You,
been
Jim.
me for,
Yep.
that's been me for a while now. I watched some film on him. Oh my God, that guy's good.
Yep.
That guy is good. We need the offensive line too. So that's what I'm trying to say. Okay, do you think they're going to get this right for one season? And I can't see it. I just can't. I can't see plugging all these holes to get to something and keep everybody healthy. That's the key. Carry on is glass. And Javon Hargrave, I did not forget about him out of Pittsburgh. I just don't think we're going to be able to get him. I hope we get him or Reader. I like both, to be quite honest. But yeah, I would definitely go for Javon Hargrave. So just to let you know, I'm paying attention. So, there's so many different options out there, but how many of those guys are actually going to come here?
Right. Yeah.
We had Richard Sherman as a target and he didn't even fit the defense. But he turned us down to go to San Francisco. San Francisco goes to the Super Bowl.
Right.
Kyle Van Noy goes over to New England. We couldn't use him. Goes over. He's in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
He wins a ring.
Right.
All these players that either can't. Graham Glasgow is going to go somewhere, and I think he's going to be a decent player.
Yep. He'll probably end up going to New England, get a Super Bowl.
Oh, San Francisco had Anthony Zettel too, that we used to have 6th-round lineman, defensive lineman. We had an offensive lineman that was in, and I forget his name. Who's the offensive lineman that we traded to San Francisco? He was a bust here. I think we picked him late first round. I mean, like early first round. I can't remember his name though. Name escapes me. So if you can help me out with that, I'd appreciate it. But all these players that we've had that go to other teams and they do okay, or they're starting for Super Bowl teams, but they weren't good enough for us. Yeah, that's a problem.
The problem is that we don't know how to develop the players right.
Or we don't have the system for the free agent players. I don't understand that.
And it's every system we get.
Yeah, it is. There's so many things that we how many systems have we tried? I think Tim's stuck on the run and shoot. He's been stuck.
I didn't bring, but that's the only ones that really gave us a success that we had.
The success that we had was Eric Kramer was balling out that year.
Right.
He came in as a backup or something to who was it?
Rodney Peete.
Yeah.
Yep.
Then we had a running game and we had a passing game.
Yep.
We haven't had that since.
No.
Well, wait, take that back, because we did have 1 year with Reggie Bush that I would consider, and maybe a little bit with Javid Best when he was here and before he got concussions and stuff like that. So it's been a long road for the Lions. They don't have an offensive line.
Right.
It's good. They don't have a running game. They have Stafford, who has to do it basically by himself. And the offense is scoring points. I don't disagree with people that say the offense is good enough. We should focus on defense. I hate to say this. There's just way too many. Oh yeah, Kevin Jones, but I don't know about Kevin Jones. I wouldn't consider. Was he a 1,000-yard rusher? I'm not sure that he was. I remember Kevin Jones. I thought he was good. I think he got hurt. I think it was. There was two. I think there was two Joneses, weren't there?
Yeah,
Kevin Jones, and there was another one too. Well, that was a while back, but I kind of agree with you. But I don't think he was a 1,000-yard rusher. I'm just saying, we need a top 10 running game, top 10 defense.
We haven't had that elite, consistent runner since Barry. There's been every
changed. I'm not going to say that everybody needs an elite running back, because that's not the truth anymore. But you have to have a running game. You have to keep the defense honest, and that helps keep Stafford upright. They're not going to have their ears peeled back going after the quarterback every freaking time, because they know we can't run the ball. They don't have to stick 7 in the box. It's not worth it to them.
Yep.
We can't run the ball.
Back when we had Barry, they were stick 8 in the box. The defenses were.
Oh yeah, defenses was
so
8 in the box with Barry and dare us to throw the ball.
right.
And with the run and shoot, we could throw the ball, but they were all getting one-on-one matchups.
Right.
And that's how it worked.
Mm-hmm.
Not gonna lie, I love having Hawk. We need to get him play his game. Stafford needs to target him more. That is more of the offensive coordinator right now.
Right.
Beryl Bevel does not use tight ends very well. He had Jimmy Graham, I think, didn't he, for a year in Seattle, and he didn't do much either. I like Bevel for the running game and how he improves the running game because I think he will. He seems to be really good with Stafford. He's the one responsible for drafting Russell Wilson over there in the 3rd round. He's got a brilliant mind, but he just doesn't use tight ends very well in his system. At least he hasn't to this point. So I don't know whether that's going to change or what's going to happen with him. I like our offensive coordinator, and I do agree with you. We need to target Hawk a lot more. It would open up so many more things for us rather than just have him a 3rd down safety valve. But I think we were using him more for blocking last year than we were for anything else.
Right.
He was helping Chip on the offensive line quite a bit. And I think that's where he was used rather than being him going out for passes. I think we were going to Amendola more. I'm just being honest. Looking for we look for running backs out of the backfield. We have a lot of weapons. We've got Marvin Jones, we've got Kenny Golladay and Amendola, and you got people coming out of the backfield. But you need to use the tight end more, especially over the middle. I agree with that. Opens up a lot of stuff. Good point. But this year, I don't think they got enough. I don't think they got the horses at this point. Yeah. And that's why I want Jonathan Taylor 2nd round. I don't even know if we're going to be able to get him in the 2nd round the way it's like. I mean, I kind of hope we do, but I'm not sure he's going to be there. But every roundtable I've been on, because we do the DSA, I do the DSA roundtable. I was on last night. And I totally believe that it should be pretty high up there on our priority board.
Right.
I think it should be high up there because, and I know we need defense, and everybody says defense wins championships, but we got to have an offense too. Hey, MicroMike, what's up, buddy? Got Dolo, we got MicroMike in the house. How you doing, Mike? Thanks for joining us. But yeah, it's been. Yeah, I agree with you, Dolo. I believe that too. He's only going to last until our pick, but that's what I think. I know we need defense right now, but how many needs do we have? We have to open up the running game. He's at work. Well, we're glad you're joining us in secret then, Mike. But we need a running game to open up. We
sure do.
Play action. It opens up Stafford to not getting, brutalized. Even if we don't have the best offensive line, if we get a better running back, I know we need offensive line. We need running backs. We need so many positions. It's crazy. So that's why I don't think that they're so close. I don't know. Somebody said that last night. They thought we're really close to being a playoff team. I'm like, I don't have any idea what you're seeing, but I don't see that. We don't even have a defensive line right now. Mike brought that up last night. He said all we have is Deshaun Hand and Flowers. Deshaun Hand's the only defensive tackle we got on the roster.
Damn.
So it's like rebuilding is exactly what we're doing. Exactly what we're doing.
Well, if anything, a rocket scientist should be able to figure that out. I mean, he's proven that these last 2 years.
Be a rocket scientist.
Yeah,
football's not his thing. I'm not trying to be rude, and I'm not saying that to be, negative. I don't like. Honestly, I don't like him very much. As in, I wanted it. I rooted for it. Remember before we got him, I thought our danger was going to be trying to be somebody else. Right. This doesn't work anywhere really, but New England, and they're trying to bring the New England culture here. But without the winning, that don't work.
Right.
You got to have the winning. Then people will buy in. They'll be like, all right,
Mm-hmm.
and I'll do what I got to do because I'm going to get a ring or I'm going to be close to a championship. So I'll toe the line.
Yeah.
If not, they're gone. And they've got the luxury to do that because they're going to be, you know what I mean? They're going to be somebody, right? They're going to go to a playoff spot for sure. They're probably going to be in the Super Bowl, or close to it. Not this year, and with the flux that's going on in New England right now, that might not be the case forever. But at this point, it is what it is. It's like the Detroit Red Wings when they were hot, man. People would come to Detroit with a pay cut.
Yeah.
Big name players because they wanted a championship. But you don't go to Detroit for the Lions for a championship because everybody knows we don't do that.
No, we don't. Only one playoff game.
Yeah, we need
one playoff win.
We can't change. We can't change that culture by replacing players all the time.
Yeah.
So I go back to that over and over again. I don't want to beat a dead horse, but okay. So defensive line, we bring in Snacks. And Snacks doesn't want to be here, so now he's gone. Okay.
Right.
So Ashawn Robinson, he wasn't great anyway, and he's a pick. He's a draft pick by Quinn.
Right.
I'm not optimistic right now that we're not going to go in full rebuild mode. That's why I want the running back. So we get that spot solidified. We can upgrade the offensive line. I think Joe Tooney is a good way to do that. If we could get Jack Conklin, I would cut Wagner. That's an instant upgrade because you have Ragnow, Tooney, and Conklin. But that's a lot of money. And then how do you address the defensive line? That's why I say there's too many holes to fill. Because you're still going to have to get backup players too.
But it seems like there's always going to be too many holes to fill.
That's a
problem.
Every single year.
Yeah,
we talk about this every year, and then we go into free agency like, oh, we can get this guy, and we start getting players, and it's like, who?
Yeah,
you start seeing
you're right. Yeah, there's
seeing the names that we want, and they go, oh, Quinn. I like this comment. This up here, Quinn does need to go.
Yeah.
Trevor. Noah says tank for Trevor, and that's the truth. Well, Trevor Lawrence, he's talking about a quarterback. I don't disagree with you, man. If you want to trade Stafford, it's going to be next year, not this year. Yep. I think it's going to be next year. I don't think you get Tua, and I don't want Tua. Believe me, I don't want Tua. But Tua being healthy helps us. He had a medical report, and we talked about this last night on the roundtable, where he is cleared for football, activities. So I'm like, sweet. Then they're clearing him. They're giving him a bill of health. That gives us the opportunity to trade down, or maybe Washington trades, and then they get Tua there, and then Chase Young falls to us. And I think we could do another trade there. I don't necessarily, think that we have so many holes to fill.
We do.
But we also need some star players, some star up and coming players. Who do they talk about?
right. Nobody.
Mike says tank for Deion Lewis. FML. And we know what that means, Mike. Yeah, Mike's been on the bandwagon for Deion Lewis, Mr. 209, for quite a while now, and we'd love to see that here. No, we wouldn't. That was a joke, Mike. That was a joke. Our chances of getting Trevor Lawrence, I think, is pretty good. They keep building like they usually do. 6-10 the first year. They didn't quite destroy the team by then, and now it was 3-12-1. So we're getting closer.
And now we'll get one.
No, I don't know. No. It kind of depends on what they do in free agency and all that. So we have to look forward to it. And I want to be optimistic. Let me tell you why. I'm a realist. Okay. So everybody can understand where I come from. I'm a realist. I've been a Lions fan since 1976. And to be honest with you, I have seen regimes come. I've seen them go. I've seen coaches come. I've seen coaches go. I have never witnessed an NFC North championship. Nope. So in all the years we've been in the league, we have won one playoff game since I've been alive, and forever in the NFL. We've never been to the Super Bowl unless we bought a ticket. And it's like, seriously, man, I just want you to win one for me before I die. It really is to that point. You know, I ain't getting any younger, folks.
They couldn't even do it for William Clay Ford. Why do you think they're going to do it for you, Jim?
Yeah, that's true. I mean, we've had more stadiums in the Super Bowl.
That's true.
We've had more players in the Super Bowl that we've gotten rid of.
Right.
This team hasn't gotten there. How do we do it? How do we do it, guys? It's easy. This is not rocket science, Patricia. Anyway.
Now, in your opinion, okay, how many more wins do you think the Lions would have had if Stafford would have played out the full year?
How many more wins do I think we would have got? 4.
4?
It's very simple. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's not off the top of my head either, because there were games that, man, we just needed a little bit more. We're very close in every game. In fact, we led every game. How do you keep the lead? Run the ball. Don't stop what you're doing. Have a defense that can stop somebody. So what is the answer to a championship in Detroit? I'm going to give you the formula because it's pretty simple. Top 5, top 10 defense, top 5, top 10 running game, and Matthew Stafford.
Okay.
I mean, that's it right there.
Right. Okay. But how do you get that? I mean, yeah, that's the answer, but how do you get
You wanted to build your offensive line every single year. You wanted to build in the trenches every single year. You want to build that spot up first. You want to get skill players that can break it for a touchdown, not, I mean, 4 yards of carry is pretty good.
Right.
5 yards of carry is pretty good. But if you don't have that threat, they're not going to come. If you can't do it every single down, or there's no threat of them breaking a run off, the defense will not respect you. And then Stafford has to throw it into tighter windows. They're getting more pressure on him because they could just rush him and go right past the running back because they don't have to stop and have gap responsibility because they're rushing the quarterback.
Right.
Because they know we can't run the ball. So it opens up a whole lot of things in the defensive end. You have to be able to stop the run. You have to be able to stop the run. It's a pass-happy league, but once you stop the run, there's a whole lot of things that open up for us, just like it's negative for the other team. Do you see what I'm saying about that? So that's the key, and those are the keys to get us there. Why can't we do it? Because we draft crappy. Our drafts are pretty bad usually. Okay. A'Shaun Robinson wasn't a great pick. I don't think he come to be a superstar. No. I mean, who have we hit on? Tracy Walker, I like. I like Tracy Walker. I'm not sold on Jared Davis.
Nope.
I like Ragnow, and that's building your offensive line. I'm not extremely thrilled with Taylor Decker, although he's serviceable. But that's what we have at a lot of positions is serviceable. We don't have dynamic. I think that's what the difference is between us and a lot of teams. But we play teams tough.
Yeah,
we play every team tough.
Mm-hmm.
So we just need some people that can be game breakers. We need a defense that can stop somebody. And those things start up front. Yeah. That's why I was a big advocate for Derek Brown and other Kinlaw's another one I like at the defensive tackle positions. Rear's another one I like. Bringing in as Dolo mentioned, he was like for Hargrave, and I like Hargrave as well. I mean, totally love Justin Hargrave or Javon. Why do I keep doing that? Will Harris is suspect, isn't he? Yeah. We've wasted a lot of draft picks during this time.
Yeah.
With Bob Quinn. It 5 years is like that golden rule of how long it takes to build a team. Why are we still building the team?
I don't know.
That's my point. We seem to have all these holes, and he's had 5 years to fill them from back then. So
we were closer 3 years ago than we are now.
I think talent-wise we are. I don't know, but we seem to play teams really, really good right now and seem to be very close to a win.
Right.
Close isn't good enough anymore, guys.
No, it's not.
Martha had to hold them accountable, and so do we. This is what we needed to do, is to put a mandate out there. Does it hurt us in some ways? Yeah, I think it does, because now they need to be in win now mode.
Right.
Instead of building. I think we need a rebuild. I'm sorry. I think we got pieces in place. I totally agree with Dolo about Trevor Lawrence if there was any chance of getting him.
Mm-hmm.
The Lions need to be a scary team and be known for the king of the jungle that represents the Lions. Yes, for sure. For sure. A scary defensive line would do that.
Yeah, it would.
Hitting people really hard would do that. Ooh, I like Delpit too. It's Royal Kush 123. Thanks for joining us, man. Yeah, they need to have the Lion identity, not the New England identity. We're not a Patriot, you know? Oh, kind of maybe, but we're Lions. We're the king of the jungle, you know? We got to start acting like who we are. We're a grit, go to work, you know, hard hat community. And it's like, that's not being portrayed, you know, I don't think. We need to, like we had a long time ago, I think we had a pretty good defense. And, you know, the Silver Rush, that was a long time ago. But, yeah, we need to stick to our identity. What's our identity? Being ferocious, being a scary team.
We need a rip you apart defense. I mean, that's what Lions do. They'll go ahead.
Be like the bad boys. But you know what happens when we be like the bad boys?
Mr. Official goes ahead.
Mr. Official has that happy flag mentality. When Sue was here, he was the dirtiest player in the game. He goes to Miami. We hear a little bit about that. Hardly hear a thing. You know? So I do believe in Detroit versus everybody. I really do. I totally subscribe to that. And I just think that right now we're in a rebuild. That's the way I feel about it. You know, we need a left guard. We need a right guard. Is Joe Dahl that good? They think he is, obviously, you know, so they're going to put him at left guard or maybe even right guard. I don't know what they're going to do. They got that guy from San Francisco that came in on crutches. I don't know. If you want an autograph, I think he's in the hospital. I'm just messing with you. I want to punch you in the mouth. Defense. I want to run over you people in the run game. Yeah, we do, Mike.
Yeah. Yep. I agree, Mike.
Yeah, we do. But but remember when we had Javid Best, Reggie Bush, those were the best. Like we were 6-0 or 5-0 when we had Javid Best, and we were just whooping teams. We had Chicago 35-0 at halftime. You know what I mean? But he had speed, elusiveness, and he had a threat to hit a home run. And in each of those years, we were really, really good with those players until they got hurt, which is the normal thing around here, actually.
True.
Yes, I agree. All right. Our players and organization needs to embrace our Detroit culture. You said it best. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Why are we trying to take on everybody else's culture? We've done the New Orleans thing. We've done the greatest show on turf thing with Mike Martz. Remember we brought Mike Martz in and he did nothing. And that was with but stupid.
They never gave him control. It was always it was they wanted a watered down version of the greatest show on turf.
Right. But I'll tell you what, you're right. Javid Best was great. Why don't we try to get something like that? Why is everybody so opposed to getting the running back? Because when we have a good running back, we have a good team usually. When Carrion was on in Miami, and I think he was on in that was last year, not year before last, and he was on in that New England game. We were good. We had a running game. You know, it's so much better when the Lions have a threat in the run game and a legit threat. It's it's night and day. So that's why I'm saying, okay, let's get a running back. Unless I get one I know there's running backs out there that we could get in free agency. I want to draft one. You know, I want to draft one. I want to have somebody who's, I'm not going to say legs are fresh because I know Jonathan Taylor's had a lot of carries, but that dude's a workhorse. His body's built for this type of thing. You know?
And he got speed too.
He has speed.
Yep.
He has speed. Isaiah Simmons is my first pick. If we can get him, that's who I want. If we could trade down and get him, that's still who I want. Okay, no doubt about it. We need more speed on the defense. We need somebody that can cover the linebackers and running backs. I've said that before. We need crossing route coverage because that's killing us.
Right.
if the Lions draft a running back in the second, I would not be opposed. So I appreciate that. I mean, I like I said, I know there's so many needs to fill. And I get it. I get it. There's defensive needs to fill. There's offensive needs to fill. But we need a dynamic player. And the way the draft is kind of set up this year, we have defensive players. It's a deep draft for some of the defensive players, and it's a deep draft for wide receivers. But the way that running backs kind of go, if this was 90s or something like that, or early 2000s, maybe even, this guy'd probably be going third, fourth overall.
Right.
But since we don't value the running back position anymore, just think about you're getting that type of player in the second round. Think about the quality of player you're getting in the second round rather than think about positional needs. So if we had Isaiah Simmons and then we had Jonathan Taylor, I think that's two big needs filled by playmakers, which is what this team needs. This team needs difference makers and playmakers. They should find a Detroit native coach, a Michigan native. Okay. Don't disagree with that. You got anybody in mind? You have people that you would like to have here? I don't know if we can start talking about the next regime yet. Is it too early for that yet, Tim? I don't know. It might be, but I don't know.
It might be too early, but shoot. No.
So you rebuild this team if you're going to. Okay, I'm a hockey fan. You know, some people know. And I think hell no. Okay, let's finish this thought. So I'm a Red Wings fan, and Steve Yzerman's now their GM. Okay, so he's from the organization. He's lived in Detroit for a hell of a long time, and he comes in and he's rebuilt the Tampa Bay Lightning. He's trading people left and right, getting all kinds of draft picks. He's had 10 draft picks last year, 10 draft picks or 9 or something this year. He's rebuilding through the draft, right? He's rebuilding through the draft. I think that's the way we should have went in the first place. And I think that's the way we're going to have to go. Okay. You get stars in free agency, right? But you get them at a price.
Yeah.
Okay. There's only so much cap room to go around. So the reason that you do things like that, the reason Seattle was so good is because Russell Wilson was a 3rd round pick.
Yeah.
And he turned out to be a really good quarterback, and they didn't have to pay $25 million for a quarterback. You know how much money that is for their defense? It's no wonder they were good. They can pay the skill positions and the defensive positions. You know, you build through the draft, offensive line, defensive line, skill positions up first. If you got a good offensive tackle, no, I don't mind that. You know, you get a guard late second, third round, something like that. That's fine with me too.
Right.
Derrick Henry. I like Derrick Henry. That is Mike's favorite guy, Derrick Henry. And that's okay. We all have our favorites. That's fine. I'd bring Derrick Henry in here. Because what would that do for us? It gives us a running game. If it gives us a running game and we can fix the offensive line in the draft, okay, Mike, I'm with you. How much speed does Henry have though? Is he a game breaker? I have not studied Derrick Henry as much as I should have because I really concentrate on my own teams. So I like the Pistons, Red Wings. I was on the Above the Rim with Detroit Drew. About our Pistons. This is a Lions broadcast, but I do a lot of other stuff. So no, I just don't know his speed and can he break it? And is there that threat? And that's what I want. I want somebody with some fresh legs that has some, you wanted him 2 years ago, AJ Dillon. Okay. Can be our Henry. All right. See, but I just want you to think about that. How good were we when we had Javid Best, and how good were we when we had Reggie Bush when they were both on? When they were both good players, when they weren't injured. Because that's the team we need to build. And the defensive line, how good were we with Sue, Fairley, Vanden Bosch, Hansa, and not all together, but those players. You see what I'm saying? We have Tavai, we have Christian Jones, and we have Davis, Gerard Davis. Is that your linebacking core? I don't know. We got Austin Bryant, who we don't talk about.
Right.
We got a lot of players, but I don't
We don't have a lot of upfront difference makers.
Difference makers. Yeah, exactly. So tell me who you want. I know Dolo had said he wanted the defensive tackle out of Pittsburgh, Javon Hargrave. We're starting free agency in a little while. MicroMike has said he wants Derrick Henry. I want, Justin Hargrave, DJ Reader. Who else is out there that you guys want? We've mentioned Joe Tooney. Anybody thinking about Anthony Costanza? He's offensive lineman, used to play for New England. He's a tackle. Is he better than Wagner? I don't know. But he was with Indianapolis. It looks like they're going to let him go.
Right.
If you could target just 2 players, one offense, one defense, who would you go with? So I'll wait for that to be answered, and Tim, I'll post that question to you first.
All right, Tooney.
You want Tooney for offense?
Yep. And wow. I'm not sure on defense.
Not sure on defense. Okay. Here's how I picture. Here's how my take on the defense. We're not getting any pressures because we're only rushing 3 guys. We're the lowest blitzing percentage team in the league.
Right.
So to get a defensive run stuffer is huge for us.
Yeah.
Because they work together in tandem, right, with the corners. So if we're going to upgrade the defensive line, corner situation might be okay with Slay, Warrior, and Coleman. That might be okay. That might be okay. If you're going to, they work together. So if your defensive line is getting pressure, which is the system of Matt Patricia right now, where he tends to want to have coverage and, more people covering and less people rushing. And he does not like to blitz for some unknown reason. So if you're not getting pressure on the quarterback, the cornerbacks have to cover more.
Right.
So let's go to some of these. MicroMike says Brian Balaga. He's not going to sign with Green Bay. Would you take a flyer on him? Yeah. How old is he? I think he's pretty old. He was one of their best tackles for a while. I think he's aging. I'm not sure if he's not on the downward swing. I'd rather have Conklin, but Balaga is a B. I don't know how much he would want, so I'd need to know that too. Let's see. Derrick Henry and Byron Jones. Wow. Okay, so you're going to upgrade the corner position with Byron Jones or keeping Slay. You got a tandem of Byron Jones, Darius Slay, Justin Coleman, Warrior. Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot. And then Derrick Henry for the running back position, which means you can go in the draft now and you're free to get a guard in the second round, which we desperately need. I would go defensive line, either Hargraves. I can't. What is that? His name? Guy out of Pittsburgh or Reek, the guy out of Houston. One of those 2 big run stuffing people there. I think Awari might be ready to take that leap. Let's see. Will Patricia blitz this season?
Probably not.
He's going to be blitzed when he gets fired, but. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know. I don't trust Matt Patricia. Funky Nuts in the house. Hey, buddy, what's up? I love that name. Patricia's stubborn. Yes, he is. There we go. There's my guy, Funky Nuts. Mike loves himself some Henry. Yes, he does. Yeah. He says that every time. But he's like me. I like Jonathan Taylor, so I'm kind of doing the same thing. Kind of doing that same thing. Welcome to the broadcast. Yeah, welcome. So we're not going to get everybody in free agency that we want. Okay. And that's just
come on, Jim. Let's do it. Let's just get them all.
Yeah, sure. Even if we have all the money to spend, that doesn't mean they're actually going to sign here. Conklin, I say he might sign here because he's been here. He was Michigan State. He actually lived in Michigan. I think he lived in Plainwell or something like that near Grand Rapids. So, I mean, he's a Michigan guy.
But he knows the weather, Jim.
But that's what I'm saying, though.
Yeah.
some of these players, they don't want to sign here because of those.
Right.
Free agency tampering period starts next Monday. I believe that's right, Mike? Because you're gonna have a show on that, which I would love to be a part of that. But I'm not trying to jump on it or anything. But yeah,
right, Jim.
I know. But I love talking about it. I want to see whatever I want. Okay, here's the off-season wish list by MicroMike. I'm going to put this up here. Off-season wish list: Tunney, Henry, Jones, Simmons, Gallimore, C.J. Henderson, keep Slay.
Okay.
That's a winner for me.
Yep.
That's a winner for me. So he's talking about Derrick Henry. He's talking about Byron Jones, Isaiah Simmons. I don't know Gallimore's first name, but I know who he is. Oh, yeah. Gallimore's a big dude. That dude is huge, but he's like more of a 3-4 or 4-3 guy, I thought. C.J. Henderson, yes. Keep Slay. Yes, definitely. That's a good plan. My plan is Tooney, but I'm also getting if this is like Ferry Neville, thank you, Funky Nuts. Thank you. I'm just gonna keep saying that name. Oh, Conklin's interested in the New York Jets.
Oh, shoot.
Yuck. Okay, but that would be my thing. I would get Tooney. I would get and Conklin. I would release Wagner. I would also look for a guard in free agency or a third round. Either one of those. I need that. I love the Gallimore pick. Oh, thanks, Mike. Yeah, I would love to be there. I just was reading the comments. See, he says Neville Gallimore. Okay, and Dolo said the same thing. Thanks, guys. Thank you for keeping me on my toes. I need that sometimes. I'm getting old and forgetful. It's the onset of Alzheimer's. I'm just kidding. But yeah, that's my offseason because you rebuild the offensive line. You rebuild the defensive line. You get a really good running back. All of a sudden, we're a few pieces away. We're a few pieces away. That's what I think.
Mm-hmm.
Jeff Gladney. I have not heard of him. I will look him up. Starts 3 p.m. on Wednesday. Okay. Jeff Gladney. All right. I hadn't heard of him. I know that's my bad, but that's the way it is. I'm not going to BS my way through it. If I don't know it, I'll tell you I don't know. But I do know that this team needs, I know what they need to win.
Mm-hmm.
You know, TCU defensive back. Thank you very much. Was that second or third round? Because I think I've seen him there, but I can't remember what round it was. Do we need a cornerback though? If we have a Warrior, if we get Jones and we have Slay obviously isn't going to be here anymore. We need the one. He's a first round. Okay. But let's talk about that. Let's talk about the draft just a little bit more. Let's talk about the trade possibilities. There's talk now into late, early second. Okay. Late first, early second. Senior Bowl cornerback that raised his stock. Some people have an eye on him in the first. Thanks, Funky. Thank you, man. No, thanks for contributing, man. I really appreciate that. We all want to win, don't we? Mm-hmm. I mean, isn't this all one pride? Isn't this all like, one thing here? Detroit versus everybody. That's the way I feel about it, man. I really do. That's the way I feel about it. Let's go into some draft dealing going on. Because Tua is healthy. At least they say so. We'll see what he can do when he's out there actually doing something rather than somebody just saying he's cleared. I think Luke G brought that up last night, and I thought that was a good point. But I honestly, we have the third pick. They're talking about the Chargers wanting to come in for maybe a first round pick next year. How would you feel about going down to 6 to get a first next year instead of getting something this year?
I would do it.
You would do that. I mean, for me, I would have to be very sure that I was getting the player I wanted.
Okay.
Because I'm moving down 3 picks.
Mm-hmm.
And in 3 picks, I think Isaiah Simmons is gone, and that's who I want. Mm-hmm. I can't limit it to that, of course.
Right.
What do you guys feel about Okudah? I don't like picking him third. I can tell you that. I think he's going to be good. I think he might be a lockdown corner for years to come.
But
third, it's not like when Patrick Peterson. I think he got picked 4th overall. If I'm right about that.
Right.
But I don't consider it that high of a pick. I want a defensive end. I want somebody that's gonna change the game for me. I think Isaiah Simmons is that player. As we've talked about, he's got the speed to cover running backs and tight ends and things like that. He kind of plays more safety than he does linebacker.
Right.
But I would not be opposed. Okay, let me see. Let's go back up here. It would have to come with at least a second this year. Yeah, I agree with that. We got to get something this year too. So give us their first and second this and next year. Wow, that's interesting. I would do that.
Yeah,
I would do that. So MicroMike, I would not be opposed, but I think they won't do to win now. We need players now. I like Okuda. I don't think we draft him though. I agree with that. You'd pick him 6th. All right. Okuda is nice. And if we had to go back to 9 and he's there, maybe, but I'm looking at Kinlaw hard. I would be too. I'd be looking at Kinlaw too. I like Kinlaw and I like Derek Brown. I like both of them. I don't care about the knocks on Brown. I've watched the guy's motor. I've watched the way he plays.
Yeah,
I've seen enough from him. Is he going to be perfect? Is anybody in the draft perfect when they're just coming out? I don't think they are. So, I mean, everybody can have a knock on somebody, but yeah, I really like Derek Brown as well there. Okuda is nice. We go back to 9. I agree. I don't want to corner that high, not without getting draft capital. Not without trading back. Yeah, I agree with that. How far back would you go if you're targeting Simmons or Brown? Brown, maybe you could get him later. I think he's dropping a bit. Epineza too was a guy that was way up there for a while, and he's dropped pretty far now. I think he might even make it to the second round where we're picking at the end of the day. We've got a long time, man. It seems like it's like right around the corner, but it really isn't. It's almost a month. So lots of stuff can change by then. Players will move up and down. So, guys, if we let's read this question. So, guys, if we miss on Simmons due to trade back, who do we take then? Derek Brown.
Yeah,
if we can get
Derek Brown definitely.
I like Kinlaw as well. God, if we're going way high, Luke G brought up the point last night. We get offensive tackle. I'm not opposed to an offensive tackle if we trade back like 13 or something to 13 or something like that. But then again, why go all the way up to 3 if we're going to trade all the way back down there? If we're going to get a generational player, and you feel like that is a generational player at 3, then I go ahead and I take who's at 3.
So
okay, let's look at Mike here. Order of what I want: 1, trade; 2, Chase Young; 3, Isaiah Simmons; 4, Derek Brown; 5, Okuda; 7, Kinlaw. That is not my order. 1 is Simmons. Right. 2 is trade down. 3 is Young. 4 is Derek Brown. 5 is Kinlaw. And 6 it would be Okuda. I don't know. We went from 5 to 7. That's okay. All right. AJ in the second. Delpit dropped to the second. Yeah, I seen that. I seen where Delpit's dropping. He didn't do anything wrong. I haven't even seen any reasoning why he's dropping a safety. He's a good player too. His length is kind of, man, there's so many good players in this draft though. This draft is deep in a couple of areas. I mean, you can get like first round talent in the first 2 rounds for us. Easy. Tackling. Yeah. I agree with that. Yeah, definitely. All right. So we're almost out of here. We've been doing this almost an hour, and I do have to get some things done today, unfortunately for me. So let's roll with some questions. You guys got any questions for us? Just put them in there. We're going to put them up like we've been doing, and then we'll answer your questions for you. You can either point them to me or point them to Tim or both of us, and either one is fine. So we're going to rapid fire some questions off when we get them. So Tim, what do you think about that draft order?
I like MicroMike's.
What?
I like.
You like that? You like that?
Yeah. Okay. Although I do want Simmons before. I do want Simmons as number 1.
Yeah. Delpit is dropping because he shied away from contact this year, and then he didn't do the combine. Oh, I see that. Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Thanks, Funky Nuts. Man, I'm into this, man.
I
can't wait, man. I'm just I'm always so jazzed at this time of year. It always seems like if we miss on Simmons due to trade back, who do we take down? I think I answered that one.
I would
go Derek Brown.
Me too. Yeah,
even Okuda, if he's down there, he slips. That's fine with me. As long as we're getting other picks, as long as I can get a chance on Gallimore or somebody like that, I like that pick too. I do. I want my running back. That's me. I want my running back. Espinez is falling because he's a limited fit. Ironically, fits perfectly in Flowers' role in Detroit. Hey, we need backup players too. Yep. If we trade back with Miami, what picks do you guys want from them in particular? MicroMike had some good stuff on this. He has the chart, the trade back chart. But if I throw that chart out, I'm taking their first round, man.
Mm-hmm.
Heck yeah. I'll take what, 26-18? Is that what it is? I believe that's what it is. And 5. Why? Because you want to move up and get somebody, and on draft day, people go crazy and lose their mind. So if they're going to lose their mind, I want them all. If I can get an extra second round pick, okay, I might go with that too.
Right.
I might take 5, 26, and they're picking their early pick in the second round. I don't want the late pick. I want the early pick. But that's what I want. It doesn't mean we're going to get it. That's what I want.
You want it all, Jim, don't you?
Hell yeah, I do.
Yep.
Are you guys doing any meet and greet this season at any Lions games? I'm not sure about that yet. No, we just started back up not too long ago. We've been doing a podcast for quite a while. It's our first crack at YouTube, to being YouTubers, so that it's pretty new to us. But yeah, heck yeah, I do.
Yeah, we'll look at. Yeah, I want to.
I want to. Yeah, Royal. We'll be looking into that. Thanks for the question. LOL, all 3. Hell yeah, man. You asked what I wanted, not what we can do. I'm greedy.
Yeah. All 3. Yeah, definitely. Man.
Have me run this team. Hell, you know what? I'm going to say this.
Right.
Let me say this. I want the fans to run this damn team. 2 1s in there too. Yeah. Yeah, there you go. Oh, would you sign Devin McCourty? Isn't he getting up there in age, Mike? I would because he knows the system, because he can help train the other safeties that we have. Yeah, I think I would. I think it would, just because of the leadership factor and the factor of that he could teach them the system. If we're going to keep Patricia, here's the golden question though. Are we getting players for just now, which is this year? Or are we getting players for the future? If you sign McCourty for a few years, what happens when Quinn is fired and Patricia's fired, and then you cut McCourty's nuts off, basically, because he doesn't fit another system that we bring in here? That's the huge question this year. That's why this year it's so hard to predict, because when you're trying to look years into the future, you really can't, because you have this year and then it looks like a regime change.
Right.
We're going to get into that a little more. I think it's going to be funky nuts. Here we go. Here's another one. I'd be okay with 5, 26, and 56, possibly Simmons, Gladney, and Duggar. God, I hope I can pronounce that right. Yeah, I agree. I totally agree. I like that. Man, you're really good at this. You should be on YouTube. I don't know if you have a channel, Funky Bots, but I think you should be on there. Very knowledgeable.
Right.
It's obvious Slay's out. You guys, perfect fit with Amani besides Okuda. Ooh. Are you talking draft? I think Byron Jones I would take. Again, the hard thing is, are we getting them for 1 year, or are we building for a future here? Because it's difficult when you know that they have to make the playoffs or they're out. That's a difficult. You want them in the draft. Okay. So, like I said, didn't do a hell of a lot of research on the second, third round at this point, because I kind of knew who I wanted. And so I kind of was into that. I like Gallimore.
Right.
That he's a defensive end though, so that's not the question. He said through the draft. I don't know that. I don't know enough. I'm just going to be honest with you. That's exactly what it is. What I signed Diaz for $1.50 a year. Gladney, I will do up a whole research on him then, and I'll get back to you on him. I just don't know enough at this point. I'm just telling you the truth. I don't want to be, like I don't know, but I don't. $1.50 a year.
That'd be a deal.
No, I don't think the price is low enough. So no, I wouldn't do that deal. Oh, okay, Mike. Do I have to give him playing time? That's a question too. Mike and his 209. Yeah, Lewis, Mr. 209. Love it, guys. I love this. I love this little thing. Hopefully, we'll do it again soon. I appreciate everybody who gave us questions. Sorry if I didn't know everything right now. I'm still doing some research and stuff like that because I have a hell of a lot of things I got to do. But I love talking Lions. I've been a fan for a hell of a long time. Lamar Jackson, that's actually a good pick. I've done a little bit of work on him. Yeah, it's not too bad in the third. But yeah, I really appreciate you guys coming out and supporting. If you could like this video, thumbs up if you please, and if you could subscribe to the channel, we would appreciate it. All right, guys, it's about that time. We about out. He says he loves you some Damon Arnett too. Okay, I don't know who that is, but I will find out. Hey, it's okay, man. I'm not going to sit here and say something I don't know. That's true. Dumb. The things I know, what I'm talking about, that's what I'm going to do. Adios, Mike. Same Funky and Terrell too. Terrell, I remember him too. Okay, isn't he's out of Clemson, isn't he? I think he is. Okay, and Clemson's actually having their pro day tomorrow. Is it tomorrow? Yeah, Thursday. So we'll get a good look at everybody, that they have. All right. Oh yeah, he was Okudah's bookend in Ohio State. Okay, cool. Yeah, I haven't looked at him. I looked at Okudah, but I didn't look at him. All right, everybody. We appreciate you. Thank you for being here, Tim. Take us home.
Yeah. All right. Well, remember, go Lions, Lions on the prowl. Detroit Lions, one pride.